hold on. Did I hear breaking news? Breaking news. Cleveland Cavaliers required Lonzo Ball in a trade that sends Isaac Okoro to the Bulls. Whatever his name is, to the Bulls. Let's see.
We have breaking news from the NBA where the Cleveland Cavaliers are acquiring Lonzo Ball in a trade with the Chicago Bulls. That's according to ESPN. The Cavs will be reportedly sending Isaac Okoro back to Chicago. Ball returned from a 2-year absence in the 2024-25 season, appearing in 35 games.
Nah, that's a big pickup for Cleveland. That's a big pickup. That's a big pickup right there. Ooh!
While averaging better than 7 points and 3 assists for the Bulls. Here's a look at the full trade details. A 1-for-1, as you see there. The Cavs receive Lonzo Ball.
And I wonder how that yo Cleveland. I ain't gonna lie, y'all done pull a good one there, boy. Damn.
As the Bulls receive
I'm shocked.
Isaac Okoro. For much more on this, let's go ahead and welcome in Jasmine Wimbish for more. Jasmine, breaking news here on CBS Sports HQ. What are the Cavs getting in Lonzo Ball at this stage in his career?
Yeah, I mean, look, if Lonzo Ball can stay healthy, I think this is a perfect fit for the Cavaliers.
That's the only thing. If he can stay healthy, that's the key thing right there. If he can definitely stay healthy, Cleveland will be. It might be going back to that playoff if he can stay healthy.
They're taking a flyer on Lonzo Ball. He's in his final year of his contract this upcoming season, so they're not really spending a lot of assets on him. You're getting somebody who, when he was healthy, Lonzo Ball was an amazing two-way player. He's somebody who can defend at the point of attack. He's somebody who can knock down threes. When he was healthy on that Bulls team that had Alex Caruso, DeMar DeRozan.
I ain't gonna lie, but I've been seeing Lonzo Ball balling a lot with his brother, both of his brothers, all season just in the gym. He was looking good out there. You feel me? He was looking good out there.
Zach LaVine. This was one of the best defensive teams in the NBA, that Bulls team. So if he's able to stay healthy, this is a great person to bring in off the bench. It basically replaces Isaac Okoro's minutes. He was getting about 20 minutes a game. You bring in Lonzo Ball. If he's able to do that for you off the bench, I think that is an incredible win for the Cavaliers here. He's somebody who is a pass-first point guard. He can score. He can be the kind of connect.
Look at that. Look at him. 64 and 18 in 2004.
That the Cavaliers
best
need.
record
And
in
on
the
defense,
season.
I think the defensive side of it is the biggest bit for the Cavaliers here. Lonzo is just a great defender, and I think it's kind of surprising that this is all the Bulls got for Lonzo Ball. I get that he struggled with injuries, so his value has kind of gone down, but it's another example of the Bulls kind of holding on to their assets a bit too long, because they could have traded him at the trade deadline in February and probably could have gotten a first-round pick out of it. So now they've only got Isaac Okoro. He's got 2 more years on his contract. He's a great defender, but he's fallen out of favor in that rotation in Cleveland, so I'm not sure where he fits on this Bulls team going forward.
Okay, so you kind of set the stage for us right there. Now that we know what they're getting and the value that Ball brings to the Cleveland Cavaliers, how are you interpreting this trade for the Cavs? Why are they doing this?
I think that the Cavs are looking at next season, and they really were probably very disappointed in the way that they performed in the playoffs. They got eaten alive by the Pacers.
What y'all think? Should Lonzo Ball come off the bench? What y'all think? Should he come off the bench for Cleveland or what?
Fast-paced offense, and bringing in somebody like Ball is somebody who can kind of keep up to speed with a team like the Pacers next season. So I think that they just wanted to add more defensive to their team. And also, again, like I said, they're taking a flyer on Lonzo Ball. If he doesn't work out, he's going to be an unrestricted free agent next summer.
Damn, my Phoenix Suns right there, man. 2001, 64. That's crazy.
So there's really no harm in this, but if he ends up being healthy and he's able to show those signs that he was before he had all of these injury issues, then they are able to be the first team to get like this little sample size of him and then sign him to a longer term deal next season, which is again a great get for the Cavaliers. And this is a team that they don't need him to do a ton next season. They're already a team that was a championship contender this year. They fell short in the playoffs, but Lonzo Ball can come in, get you 15, 20 minutes, be that defensive anchor off of the bench, be a guy who can run the offense in that second unit, and really just is a perfect fit for that second unit for the Cavaliers. So I think it's a great move by Cleveland. They didn't give up any draft assets for him. So I think it's a
that's why I say it's a double move by Cleveland right there. I definitely give them that. Double move by Cleveland.
great move by Cleveland. For Chicago, I don't understand it at all.
And we'll get to that in a minute. But sticking here with the Cavs, now with this addition and knowing kind of the direction maybe that they're headed for next year, are the Cavs the biggest threat to the Thunder in repeating for next year?
Yeah, I mean, I think you look at that Eastern Conference and Boston's going to be down. Pacers are going to be down now that they've got 2 stars out. So it's definitely wide open for the Cavaliers to make a deep run in the playoffs. I think it's going to be Cleveland. I think it's going to be the Knicks.
Yeah, definitely. I can see Cleveland going back to the playoff next season. I can definitely see Cleveland, and I can see Pacers only if Halliburton is. You feel me? How it depends. However he recovered from that injury in the finals, Halliburton.
I think the Magic, now that they've got Desmond Bane, they've needed a shooter. So I think those are the 3 teams that I'm looking at. But certainly the Cavaliers, I think, are in that pole position. Despite the fact that the Knicks got to the Eastern Conference Finals, the Cavaliers were just a consistent threat all throughout the regular season. So I think they'll probably, if I were to pick right now, I would say that the Cavaliers would probably finish next season with the #1 spot in the East. But the issue is getting through the Eastern Conference. But now they don't have to face Boston. They don't have to face Indiana, which just kicked them in the playoffs next season. So their biggest threat will probably be the Knicks, will probably be Orlando. But I think adding somebody like Lonzo Ball helps on the defensive side of the ball for them, which is something that they really struggled with in that second round against Indiana. So I think this puts Cleveland in a very good position to make a very deep run in the postseason next year.
Odds makers on the same page with you, Jasmine, as the Cavs had the best odds right now to win the Eastern Conference next season at +210. Lastly here, what does this all mean for the Bulls? You mentioned that they probably could have got more in this trade, a little disappointed and surprised at what they actually received for Lonzo Ball. Probably could have gotten more. A team that has really refused to go down the rebuild path. But could this be the first sign that maybe they're open?
Yeah, I mean, I think perhaps, but when you don't get draft capital back, I don't really know what that means. Isaac Okoro has 2 years left. He's making $11 million on those next 2 years of his deal. I don't know what this means.
11 million in the next 2 years. All right, Isaac. See you.
For Chicago, because you're not getting draft capital, you're not getting a young guy who's going to be part of this future long term. So I don't really know what the Bulls are doing here. But to be honest, I live in Chicago. I've been going to Bulls games for like 5 years. I've not really known what the Bulls have been doing for the last 5 years of this team, just because they hold on to these assets for too long. They depreciate and then they trade them and they don't get the top value for them. That's what they did with Zach LaVine. That's what they did with DeMar DeRozan. They traded Alex Caruso and got Josh Giddey and didn't get a single draft asset for him. Alex Caruso ended up being the difference maker that won the Oklahoma City Thunder a championship this year. So I don't really understand why the Bulls decided to hold on to Lonzo when he was performing at peak levels prior to the trade deadline, and they could have gotten a draft capital for him, and now they're sending him out for Isaac Okoro, who is not a rotation player in Cleveland. He will certainly get minutes in Chicago, but he can't shoot threes. He's not a volume three-point shooter, and that's something that the Bulls need. They don't really have a ton of shooters on this team, and depending on if they keep...
Yeah, I don't know what Bulls was thinking, though. I don't know what they was thinking.
Kobe White or not, because there was conversation about maybe they trade both Lonzo Ball and Kobe White. Kobe White would certainly net them some draft capital, so if they decide to do that, perhaps that's where they get those first-round picks from. But he's really the only shooter you have on this team. Nikola Vucevic is probably somebody who also gets traded. So I don't really know what the game plan here is for the Bulls. They've been pretty content in being a mediocre team, not going through a rebuild. They've been pretty consistent in saying, we don't want to tank because tanking does not guarantee you a top draft spot. Totally understandable. We just saw that with the Dallas Mavericks. They had a 1.8% chance of getting the #1 pick, and they got it. So losing, like intentionally losing games does not mean that you're going to get a #1 pick. At the same time, trotting out a lineup that really has no forward future for years on end doesn't make a ton of sense either. So yes, this deal might seem like, oh yeah, the Bulls are trying to actually go into a rebuild. We got to see what else they're going to do throughout this season and throughout next season to see if that's actually what we're looking at, or if it's just them just saying, well, we just wanted to move Lonzo because that's just what we wanted to do. It's really...
Hey, that might bite them in the butt, making that move, Alonzo to the Cleveland. But who knows what the Bulls got up their sleeves, though? Who
a
knows?
confusing aspect because I thought that they would be able to get a first-round pick for him, but apparently not. So.
Well, let's hope there's a game plan in place and that we understand this move sooner rather than later. Jasmine Wimbish joining us here with the breaking news as the Cleveland Cavaliers are acquiring Lonzo Ball in a trade with the Chicago Bulls.
That's a good pickup.
As you take a look
I get him that.
at the updated odds to win the NBA title for next year, Thunder with the best odds at plus 230 there to repeat, followed by the Cleveland Cavaliers.
I give him that. That's a good pickup. What y'all think? Let me know. Drop in the comments. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like, and let us know what y'all think about that. Alonzo to the Cleveland and Isaac to the Bulls. Let us know. W. I think it's a W. Let me know. Until next time, be sure y'all subscribe, hit that like, drop a comment.